tonight's presidential debate will be between Eliana Perezfernandez and Arlette Aranda, and it will be deciding who becomes the president of the next United States.
Hello, I'm Eliana Perezfernandez, and I am one of the presidential candidates.
Hi, my name is Arlette Aranda, and I'm the other runner.
Alrighty, so the first question of today's debate will be on healthcare. Given the worrisome rise of mental disturbances within the younger generation of Americans over at least the last decade, what would you now do to improve the mental health of our citizens? And your time starts now.
Well, I believe that we should also provide. There's a lot of things with that. There's well, like you said, there's a bunch of people being affected by this. So I believe that this includes home. This includes what's going on at school, jobs, anything really. And I believe that everyone has the right to, universal health care. So for me, this includes breaks at school, better job opportunities, actually provide the people with what they need.
Alrighty, and oh yeah. Given the worrisome rise of mental disturbances within the younger generation of Americans over at least the last decade, what would you now do to improve the mental health of our citizens? And your time starts now.
I think our main point is that we need to fight the stigmatism that having depression or anxiety is bad, because it's something everybody goes through, honestly. So, and we are getting better at it, but I feel like we should talk more with people at home, because it's like the old generations that don't believe in that. They're like, nah, we got it. So we need to fight that, because we're like, what I'm feeling is actually true. Like, yeah, like you see me crying? That is me crying, woman. So yeah, and yeah, honestly, we need to start from the root of it and just let people know that we're here for them. Because if they don't feel the support, that's when when they close down, or you just notice people shutting down. So I feel like what we need to do is come together as a community and help each other. That's it.
Do you have anything?
That was good.
Okay, so for the second question, as president, what would you do to increase mental health treatment within the community for our vets and their families and caregivers? And
Your time starts now.
yeah.
Well, we already have a plan for that. As far as I'm concerned, for example, when veterans come back from war, we provide them with psychological treatment. This includes going to see a psychiatrist, seeing a psychologist. And I think that is already a decent plan. I think that can work already. And, I think we should keep implementing that. I think there's not really much to change about it. I know that there is problems that comes with it. But, for example, if we keep implementing the whole psychological treatments, I think that they would be more open to talk about, and more people would be aware of what's going on with veterans.
Alrighty, and you have 1 minute and 30 seconds.
I think what we need to do is actually reach out to the veterans. Because we have this, we have that, but they're old, sorry. And we appreciate them very much. But they're also close-minded. They don't want to accept that they have issues. So what we need to do is go to them. Because we could be we have this program down the street, they're not going to go. Because they're used to believe that they're sad or something. So what we need to do is go to them and maybe find a way that they can cope. Maybe bring an animal with them, or little kids. Because I know that little kids can say things, and that's how people open up.
You have anything to comment?
Well, I mean, there's always a possibility that the veterans are going to reject the treatment, and that's why I think that it would be better to just leave it open as an option, rather than actually going to them, because, like I said, there's always a possibility that they don't want it.
So I think that's a good point, because not everyone's going to want the help, but the best we can do is try the help. Because if we're even just they don't want it, okay, maybe just push it just a little bit more. Because we have all denied help at some point when we knew we needed it.
That concludes the questions for the healthcare. Our next topic will be gun control. So, as president, how would you ensure that Americans keep their right to bear arms under the Second Amendment while also ensuring that gun violence drops? We have 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Okay. So we do have a severe issue with gun control. You know, we have keep seeing like school shootings, or even here being at school. Yeah, I think most of us have that fear inside of us that when we have a lockdown, like it might be true. Because you never know what's happening, especially like in our community. We would say we're safe because we're next to a hospital, but honestly, we're also next to like a hospital. So what I say we need to do is have stricter policies in a way not like that make it impossible for them to get a gun, in a way that we need to evaluate them more before they get a gun. So like maybe like give them like a psych evaluation where we need to see how their mind works. Like are they thinking the right things, and seeing if their position for getting a gun is it like to protect themselves, or maybe to like go hunting and not be like see their like true intentions behind what they actually want to do with it.
Alrighty, we have a minute and 30 seconds.
Just like how she said, I think that I believe in Second Amendment, and I believe that everyone has the right to buy a gun, own it, because you know people deserve to protect themselves and protect their loved ones. So what we were thinking is that we devise a stronger selective process focusing on the applicant's psychological status. So this would be to determine if said applicant is actually capable of handling and keeping a firearm. So for every 6 months, for example, we would have them keep record and report the status of the firearm. And this will help reduce the traffic of firearms if they want to sell or trade it. We will ensure that that is not possible. Agencies and the government will be involved in said case.
You have a minute.
That is a good plan, but I think what we would likely more do is hit it from like the source, because we also know that there are cases where cops have been giving their guns or their things to criminals. So what we want to do is stop it from the source, so like look towards the companies that manufacture them and make them keep records. So like keep records, and the people that get the gun will keep records on how many guns are made, and like if there are any defective ones, like completely like trash them, because the companies are like also how like the guns get out.
So for the second question on gun control, with the unfortunate rise of gun violence in institutions such as public schools, what will your plan be to combat gun violence within school?
So I know this would seem like school is a prison, but I think the best thing to do is just have metal detectors. And it sounds horrible, and I understand. But how many parents that have lost their children would not want to like have wished that the school had like a better source like metal detectors to like have their child be with them now? It doesn't sound like a nice thing, but the thing is that if it's a measure that we can take to protect our classmates, our kids, our siblings, it's the thing to do. Because at some point you have to be strict with it so that things don't keep happening.
You have a minute and 30.
Okay, just like how she said, I think it's also very important to keep police near schools. So we would also provide them with more funding for them to actually be at the schools. And you know, the metal detectors is a great idea, while also having dogs there, you know, to keep, like we said, record of what's going inside the schools. The clear backpacks, and I understand that a lot of people are against it, and I would understand why. You feel like it's an invasion of your privacy. But just like how we said before, how many parents want to know that their kids is always safe? We don't want, besides firearms, there's always knives, there's always other ways to harm kids. So we would provide police to be there.
And you have
Well, I think our main point is we want to do anything that's possible to keep our loved ones safe.
Alrighty, the next topic is climate and the environment. So for you, Eliana, how will you ensure all communities receive equal access to clean air and water and equitable response to climate disasters such as wildfires or hurricanes? And your time starts now.
Well, I believe that it is really important to, I'm so sorry, can you rephrase the question?
So how will you ensure all communities can receive access to clean air and water and have a good response to climate disasters like wildfires and hurricanes?
Well, I believe it's really important to keep them educated on what happens, on their situation, on their climate. Always, for example, for tornadoes or all those types of natural disasters. You know, I think we are already pretty good on the fact that the basements, anything that keeps make sure that there's always, keeping record of like the buildings and how they were built in order to keep the people safe. So for clean water also, well, I don't really have a plan to be completely honest with you, but our campaign would work for a better time.
Alright, you have more than 30 seconds.
I think first of all, our main point is to get the point across that like climate change is a thing. Like, are we not seeing like the temperatures we're getting right now? That is like our first main point is to make people realize that it is a thing, and if we continue up with this, we're not gonna last long. We're gonna go extinct like the dinosaurs, okay? And then my plan to get people those resources would be to like send troops, cause at some point we need to use our like government money for like something better than our militia, which we do have a good militia, but we like need to make it use it for like a better good. So I would send like tanks filled with water. I would send like the most needful resources, which would be like oil, beans, and make sure that they have enough so that where they know that we are trying to help them, and that's so they can help us help them.
Do you have a rebuttal from the person? Okay.
So the second question for climate and environment is for Eliana. So what steps will you take to ensure we collectively reduce our carbon emissions? Do you have an emissions reduction target or timeline?
Well, we were hoping that we would target the recycling programs. I think that we have good recycling practices, but we believe that it can be improved. And our plan was that we would, this would help the homeless also integrate back into society by providing them jobs. So we would create more recycling centers, for example, and this would target and provide a deeper, understanding of our recycling products. So we would provide them with jobs and also, try to make sure that all sectors are covered locally and questions of recycling.
Any other moving parts?
So my plan for like recycling would be to teach the people how to recycle. Because honestly, Palmina does not recycle. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to recycle. Like I've seen videos, but like I've seen like maybe like 30-second videos. So what we need to do is teach the people how to recycle and like provide them with containers and be like, paper goes in the green one, okay? You're doing great, city. We need to, cause what, what are we? So, cause we're gonna have more places for them to recycle, but what good is it if the people don't know how to use them? What good is it if we're like, oh, here's your container and there's the place over there, and but they're just like, okay, and they keep recycling bags, which is most of our things that people recycle, but then when the factory gets them, the factory like needs to throw like out a bunch of it like into normal trash because things that are not recyclable go in the recycling.
Would you like to rebuttal?
Yep, that was
And our fourth topic will be combating drug use. So for Arlette, as president, how would you support / advocate for families impacted by drug addiction? And your turn starts.
So drug addiction is the worst thing you could go through, or see someone go through. So I think what we need to do is help people, show them the support they need, because knowing that you lost someone to like something dumb is like the worst feeling ever. And I'm gonna say that because I went through it a couple times. It's not the best thing. So what I would like to do, or what I would have liked to gone through is see that our government is taking more action, see that, because it's really difficult to stop the spread of drugs, because it's everywhere, and somehow they keep making them by themselves, and they just get more dangerous. If we try to stop them, they're gonna come up with like a new process to make them, which just becomes more dangerous. So what we need to do is help the kids in the community, because they are the ones who are consuming it. And if we stop the consumers, and we're gonna stop the producers. So what I wanna do is to help the people that went through it, is maybe teach them like, give them Narcan if they know like somebody else that uses drugs. Because Narcan is a way that you could like save someone that is like coding on drugs. Give them resources for them to like know that if it were to happen to them again, to know that they can do something better and possibly save the person's lives. And let them know that we're here for them.
Give a minute and 30 seconds.
So, like she said, it is to provide them with resources on how to use, how to not use opioids. I guess that would be the first one. We want to provide more resources to agencies that are involved in drug trafficking. Well, to stop it, maybe. Because we also want to work with our neighboring countries, such as Mexico and Canada, to actually stop the spread. So it's not, just like she said, it's not just the consumers, it's the producers. And I think that if we target the root of it all, I think that we could actually stop what is going on with these families, people being scared, and that's gonna be it.
Do you have anything else to add?
Can I just say that stopping the producers is super hard. I've read articles and just from seeing things around is that I know that it's gonna be super hard, and it's a good attempt, honestly. It's worth every fighting chance we got. But at some point, they're gonna keep trying, and I know they're gonna go for it. But I think our best chance is to try to help the community to help them stop from using them.
So for the second question, it's since 1980, the U.S. prison population has grown by almost 800%. The United States has more people behind bars than any other country in the world. What will you do as president to reduce the U.S. prison population and end mass incarceration?
So what I would do to stop mass incarceration is try to separate our people who commit crime, separate them by their levels, and see if they do want to be better. And if they want to be better, we should try to help them, try to get them back into the community, help them by helping them get jobs, helping them get an apartment, and helping them actually become a good person in society so that they're not going to go back to it. And there's always a possibility that they are going to go back to it because it's something they were stuck to for a while. But the thing is that our best thing that we can do is actually try to help them. Because if we just see that, they're stuck in jail and we're just going to leave them there. And we're just going to hope that they get better. And if we don't help them, there's people that did something bad, go to jail, serve their sentence, and they come out again and just redo the whole thing again. So what we want to try to do is stop that cycle and try to help them. And let's say that they redo it again, then that's their second offense, and we see how great that second offense was, and that depends on them whether they get to go back out or not.
So I believe that we should open the cases again. I believe that we should revise what is going on, separate the cases obviously by depending on the gravity of what they did. I think, like Arlette said, we should help them and tell them that we support them. That not what they did, but that after they come out, that there is a better chances for them. There's chances for them to get better. There's chances for them to actually know what they did wrong and actually become and integrate themselves into society again without being a burden to us.
I wouldn't say they're a burden. Sorry. I know it is hard to be we have so many people to look after, but that is the things that we need to care. We need to let them know that they're not a burden to us. That's it.
So our next topic is foreign policy. Today, only 20% of the world's people live in free countries. What do you view as the United States' role in strengthening democracy and protecting human rights around the world?
So, at the end of the day, we support human life, and we will continue supporting open communications with all of these countries at war. We believe that it is our job to keep working with other countries through the United Nations, also known as the UN, to keep, keeping open, like I said, open communication with them, because it is really important to know what is going on, not just here in the United States, but also keeping the people aware of what's going on around them, what is going on in other countries, not hiding the truth. I think it is really important for us to be completely clear and open about the situations in other places, because it not only starts in other places, we need to target what's going on here, and then make our relationship better with other countries.
In a minute and 30 seconds.
I think it is a good policy to be open with people. but we also can't be like too open to the point where they take advantage of us. I think we need to set that like strict line of we are gonna do this. Are you okay with it? Are you not? And then we try to talk it out, but we can't let people like see everything about us and then they be like try to take advantage of it. So it is a good policy to like be open so that we can like talk it out. But at some point like you never know if someone's gonna like wanna take advantage of that or maybe like do something behind your back. So what we need to do is have like strict lines to what we are and are not gonna do, and then try to work with them after that.
Do you have anything else to add?
Well, I think, I'm sorry, I didn't really understand what you mean by taking advantage of us. I think that regardless of anything, I think it's really important to, well, obviously not let ourselves be taken advantage of. I think that we can target through, what is keeping people preoccupied and let them know that we are aware of what's going on, but also that we are keeping them safe.
Next question. Conflicts regarding foreign interests with one another are growing more and more frequent, such as Russia, Ukraine, and Israel and Palestine. How much involvement, if any, should the U.S. have with these foreign conflicts? Should these foreign conflicts be a priority for America?
I think this should be a priority because we are seeing on social media how the poor people are being affected. We're seeing how there are poor families just like living in dirt. So what we of course people think of like the US as like such a great place, and I don't want us to just like be selfish and for them to just like for us to just like focus on ourselves, because after all we do want to be part of like the nation as a whole and try to work with them. So I think we should involve ourselves. We should try to help them. We should help them to enough to a point where we are giving them a better chance for the future. But if at some point we get too involved and it hurts ourselves, we are gonna defend ourselves. So we're not just gonna stand there and like watch these people hurt other people, which I'm sure we've like all seen the videos online where they're like getting bombarded like in the middle of the night, or people injured on the streets, and right now they're trying their best. And it just sucks to see like the states that so many people are in and see the state like that we're in, and we see that we're so privileged right now. So what I wanna do is help them.
Well, I believe that there is no way to work with a country that doesn't want to work with you. First, I think it is really important to focus on ourselves and wait some time before we actually, involve ourselves in situations such as Russia, Ukraine. And so, first off, like I said, I think it would be better to wait some time, actually focus on what's going on internally and, in the US before we actually go to places such as Russia, Ukraine, because we are already sending firearms to Ukraine. What more can we do in that situation?
Yes, I just don't think that we necessarily just need to send firearms, because sometimes fighting fire with fire is not the answer. We just know that just leads to like a mass fire. So I think what my point was is we need to try to help the people who are suffering there, and then forgot my other point. But I think we've waited quite like a while. Probably not enough to like directly go involve ourselves, but it's been a while since it started. And I think we've like been able to like see enough to where we can like make a decision.
Any other closing comments? So our final topic is border security. The United States is currently experiencing a great influx of migrants crossing the border into the U.S. from their home countries in South America. As president, what would your border security policy look like in regard to dealing with these massive waves of illegal immigrants? And you have a minute and 30 seconds.
First off, I think that we should close our borders, but this isn't something bad. We want to give priority to the people that are already in here illegally. So first off, if they have any way of demonstrating that they have been paying bills, rent, mortgages, because some people come here and they already buy homes, they are capable of that. As long as they can show that they have been working hard to, keep their place in our society, I think that we can actually legalize their immigration status, actually work with them and their employers, the people that actually truly have, more of a louder voice for them. So I believe that first we should focus on the people that are already here and close our borders.
Alright, you have a minute and 30 seconds.
Yes, I think that is actually a good statement because there are a bunch of people here who are considered immigrants, but they're like a great part of society right now. I know they contribute so much. My point would be to get a better system for border security. Because right now, I know we have like border patrol just going around. Like we still get a bunch of immigrants coming in, like through places you won't even see. And my point would be to try to help those that are actually seeking like a better future, who are like running away from something bad. Because from a personal experience, right where I live by, there were a bunch of immigrants that were just like stationed and asking for money. But one of them didn't even ask us for money. He just wanted a sign asking if anyone could offer him a job. He just wanted us to help him write it down. So like they're not even asking for like a free way. They're asking for like a helping hand. So I don't think we should just like lock them outside or just like straight up say no. I think we should like, if they want to work for something better, like actually, like we should give them like a hand. Just help them like get started a little bit and see if they want to be like better from there. And if we just like could even check up on them later and see like, are you doing better? Like are you actually trying? And then from there we like see and notice if we like if we actually would send them back or not.
Do you have anything else to add to that?
So the last question would be, as president, how will you engage with Mexico and other countries to reform, create, and implement cooperative immigration policies?
You have a minute and 30 seconds.
Sorry. Yes. As president, how will you engage with Mexico and other countries to reform, create, and implement cooperation immigration policies?
So that's actually a great point because what we need to work with, we actually make it go because that's like one of the main points where immigrants come through. So I think we like need to work with them. So we have a site over there where the people get stationed, so that we can process them over there. Because then when they get here, they all just pile up and we get overwhelmed. So maybe that way they can help us process them and we process them too. Our best way would be to like have just more communication and see a way in which we could help each other out. Because if we just like don't talk to each other, then we're gonna continue with like all this chaos, and then we seem like the bad people. I think my main point is working together is the key, because if they come through there, and I know they have their complaints too. When the immigrants, the waves of immigrants were coming over here, the people over there were also complaining that the immigrants were taking like a bunch of their space up or their resources, or that they were just like around the streets. So we should like set a system up where they help us process them and we process them too, so that the weight on both sides is less.
You have a minute and 30 seconds.
So, like we have said before, a lot of immigrants come here actually looking for job opportunities. You know, America is known to be the land of free and opportunities. So I believe that by working with Mexico, we could actually have, we would work with them by getting a way of having criminal records and I believe I had said criminal records and background checks on the people that are coming in. Not everyone is bad. I'm not saying that we will deny access to anyone. We are simply targeting the people that, well, I don't want to say that wouldn't be the best to be here because, like I said, we want people to come if that's what means that it is a better future for them, or better opportunities for them. But like I said, by keeping background checks and criminal records of our neighboring countries, I think that we could actually have a better understanding of the people that are coming in.
I think that is a good plan, but you understand that sometimes the people that come here come with nothing. They were like no one over there. They had nothing. They had no papers. They barely even had a house or roof over themselves. So that plan might not actually work because you would have no way of tracing them back.
Anything else to add? So now you have a minute and 30 seconds for your concluding statements.
So I want to say that it was an honor, regardless of anything that happens, whatever gets chosen. I think it was an honor to run for this position. I'm very excited for what is in store. I want to keep my promise of the proposals that I made. I want to help people. I really I'm really looking for the best for everyone, regardless of what happens to me. I want to put this country before anything else.
And you have 30 seconds.
My closing statement is that it was actually an honor. This was actually a great experience, and I think we're both getting something like really big out of this experience. So, and my closing statement would be that I want to work towards not getting things probably from the root, because that is always the toughest thing. That's what we've like been trying to do for like eons. But what I want to do is probably help the people who are affected, because those are the ones that suffer the most. And if I do win, I promise to try my best and stop all these bad things from happening.
Alright, so
Shake hands.